Welcome back students to our online platform, that is our school's YouTube channel. So again we are ready with today's video. This video is for class 9th and the subject is science, and we are continuing the same chapter, that is chapter number 9, and the name of the chapter is force and laws of motion. So as we have already discussed the first law as well as the second law, so we will recall again the first law. First law of motion is also known as the law of inertia, which states that an object at rest will remain at rest and an object in motion will remain in motion until or unless an external force is applied on it. Means the object, whatsoever state it is at the right time, it cannot change its state of motion without any external force. Means कोई ऑब्जेक्ट मोशन में है तो मोशन में ही रहेगा जब तक उसे कोई फोर्स से हम रोकेंगे नहीं. इफ़ एन ऑब्जेक्ट इज़ एट रेस्ट, वो रेस्ट पे ही रहेगा जब तक कि उस पर कोई फोर्स नहीं लगा दें, उसको डिस्प्लेस नहीं कर दें, अनटिल और अनलेस एन एक्सटर्नल फोर्स इज अप्लाइड. दैट वाज द फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ मोशन और द लॉ ऑफ इनर्शिया. एट द सेम टाइम वी हैव डिस्कस्ड द सेकंड लॉ ऑफ मोशन. फॉर सेकंड लॉ ऑफ मोशन we are having the two statements. The first statement with which we start to find out the numeric expression, that is F is equals to ma, force is equals to mass into acceleration. The statement was force is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. Force is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. At the same time I explained that what is momentum. So the momentum is the amount of motion contained in an object, or in second way we can call that momentum is the product of mass and velocity. It is denoted by p. P is equals to mv, and the SI units of momentum is, we can find out because p is equals to mv. What is the SI unit of m? What is the SI unit of m? That is mass, that is kilogram, and v, that is meter per second. So the SI unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second. This we have discussed yesterday. At the same time we have also discussed the impulse. Impulse is also one important term there. It is denoted by j. The SI units are same as that of the momentum because the impulse is the change in momentum. Final momentum minus initial momentum. Final momentum is mv and the initial momentum is mu. mv minus mu is impulse. So afterwards we are supposed to discuss that third law of motion. Third law of motion is very easy and very common because the statement is every action has equal but opposite reaction. The simple statement is there. Every action has equal but opposite reaction. For example, if we are pushing any wall, means if I am pushing this board by any force, so the wall is also giving the reaction, the equal reaction. I am applying the force in this side, inward of this board, and the board is applying the same magnitude of the force outward. Means the direction is different. I am applying the force inward and the board is applying the force outward, and the magnitude will be same. So this is a statement of the third law of motion. These three laws are there in this chapter. At the same time, as we have discussed the momentum, so one more term is there, the conservation of momentum. Conservation of momentum. By writing this, I recalled one more conservation law is there. Conservation of energy, that is energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. Means energy को ना तो हम बना सकते हैं ना हम destroy कर सकते हैं. It can be transformed from one form to another. At the same time, conservation of the momentum is momentum of a system cannot be changed. Momentum of a system will be constant. Means momentum before will be equals to momentum after. So for example, we will take two balls. This is ball A, this is ball B. The ball A is having the mass m1 and ball B is having the mass m2. The velocity of m1 is u1, initial velocity of ball B is u2, and here u1 is greater than u2 and they are moving in a straight line, so if u1 is greater than u2, then after some time they will collide, collision will be there. So this is the before collision and after collision. After collision, if we have taken that u1 is less than u2, there would have been no collision, but we have told already that u1 is greater than u2, so after some time there will be collision, and after collision their velocity will be changed. There will be no change in their mass, so the balls will be like that. That is ball A and this is ball B. Maybe ball A can be in front of B and their direction can be changed, but their mass cannot be changed. Mass of first ball will be m1, mass of second ball will be m2, their velocity will be v1 and this velocity will be v2. According to the conservation of momentum, before collision equals to momentum after collision. Momentum before collision, momentum of first ball will be m1 u1, momentum of second ball will be m2 u2. After collision, momentum of first ball will be m1 v1, momentum of second ball will be m2 v2. According to the conservation law of momentum, that will be equal, their sum will be equal. The conservation before momentum is m1 u1 plus m2 u2. Initial velocity m1 u1, m2 u2, m1 v1, m2 v2, where m1 m2 are the masses of balls A and B respectively. At the same time, u1 u2 is the initial velocities of these balls with which they are moving. One additional condition is there, u1 is greater than u2. At the same time, v1 and v2 are the velocities of these balls after the collision. So this is the statement of conservation of momentum. So like this we can explain or we can state the conservation of momentum. At the same time, now the first law, during the first law we have discussed the inertia. Inertia can be of two types: inertia of motion, inertia of rest. So inertia is the inability of an object to change its position by its own. So अगर वो मोशन में है तो उसका इनर्शिया होगा इनर्शिया ऑफ मोशन. इफ द ऑब्जेक्ट इज एट रेस्ट, so inertia will be known as inertia will be called as inertia of rest. So some common questions can be there. If a bus is at rest and someone is sitting in the bus and bus starts suddenly, and that very person who was sitting inside the bus used to fall in the backward direction. Why it is so? So the simple reason is there, the one line answer is there, it is due to inertia of rest. Now what is the explanation for that? If someone is sitting in the bus and the bus is at rest and the object and that person is also at rest, but if the bus starts suddenly, then the portion, the lower portion of that person which is in the contact of that bus, whether that person is sitting or whether that person is standing. If someone is standing, that means his feet were in direct contact with the bus. As soon as bus starts, at the same time the lower part means his foot comes into motion, and the upper part which was at rest due to inertia, it want to be at rest, means the lower part has come into the motion and the upper part is at rest. That's why the part which is at rest will go in the backward direction. That is the reason why a person sitting in a bus used to fall in the backward direction if the bus starts suddenly. At the same time, the second converse condition can be there. If a person is sitting in a moving bus and the brakes are applied suddenly, then that person used to fall in the forward direction. Why? So if I am sitting in the bus and bus is moving, so bus is in the motion and I am also in the motion. When the brakes are applied, means the bus comes to at rest immediately. So at the same time, the part of my body which is in direct contact with the bus used to come at rest instantly. जैसे बस रेस्ट पे आई वैसे ही मेरा लोअर पार्ट जो बस के कॉन्टैक्ट में है दैट ऑल्सो कम्स टू रेस्ट. So but the upper part which is not in the contact is in the motion. So due to inertia of motion, my upper part will tends to be in motion, whereas my lower part has come to the rest. That's why when the brakes are applied, if I am sitting in the bus, I used to fall in the forward direction. So this is the basic thing we should keep in our mind: inertia of rest and inertia of motion. More such type of questions we will discuss tomorrow. As we have discussed, I think the maximum terms given in this chapter, and at the same time you should go through the chapter and you should check whether we have skipped any of the term. If such condition is there, then you can message us or you can even call us. If you are having any doubt at the same time, you can again call us or message us so that we can rectify your doubts, because by tomorrow we are supposed to start performing, start solving or start discussing the in-text questions, means questions given within the chapter. After completing those in-text questions, we are supposed to move towards the exercise which is given at the end of this chapter. So today's homework in science is you are supposed to go through the chapter. You are supposed to check the terms. If there any term is there we have not discussed till now, if such term is there, then you can inform us. We will try to discuss tomorrow, and afterwards we will proceed the in-text questions. Thank you very much.